I said in my last video that if a woman decides to conform to beauty standards and doesn't push that expectation onto other women, that is a morally neutral choice. And I largely stand by that. However, I want to add some nuance to it now. A friend of mine has curly hair and she's a millennial like me, so we both grew up in an era that was not very friendly to curly hair. She always used to straighten it, and that was her right, a perfectly morally neutral decision. Then she had a daughter who also had very curly hair, and at a young age her daughter said, "My curls are ugly, I want to straighten my hair like you." This was sad for my friend because she wanted her daughter to at least have the option of embracing her natural curls. She didn't want her to reject her hair at such a young age, so she realised that she needed to demonstrate that there was nothing wrong with having curly hair. So she learned how to take care of her curls, and she has never straightened her hair since. This was a point at which my friend's decisions around her own body stopped being morally neutral, because she knew that how she was treating her own curls was having a harmful impact on her daughter's self-esteem. And as her mother, she held herself accountable for mitigating that harm. It wasn't all out immoral for her to straighten her hair, but it wasn't harm-free either. Now, I'm not a mother, but for me personally, I feel that I owe my inner child the same level of consideration that my friend owes her daughter. And that's why for me, the decision to grow out my body hair wasn't just a case of preference. For me, it was about sending myself a message that I am perfectly good as I am, and that I don't have to try and present myself in the way that society tells me I should. I have gained an immense sense of confidence from this. I don't think it's the case that most women wish they had hairy legs, but I do think that a great deal of women covet the sense of ease and self-confidence that I have to be able to go out into the world with hairy legs. They don't want to feel the crippling shame that they do feel at the very idea of it. It's a complicated and nuanced part of the female experience. And while I hold zero judgment for women who shave, that's genuinely none of my business, I'm not going to pretend that my decision to stop shaving wasn't a radical act of self-care that goes beyond just preference. And I'm not going to pretend that it isn't important that more women feel like that is an option for them too. I know that I have felt very inspired by other women who confidently rock body hair, and I think it's perfectly valid for me to feel that when I do the same, I am generating something good and needed in the world. There is a balance to be addressed here, and that's just my preference rhetoric often obscures that fact.